gift of Troy. Great Pharaoh. The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers. Great Pharaoh. The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers. Great Pharaoh. The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the five rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
I'm back. We're back. Ray's backstage. Appreciate y'all patience, man. It's a crazy day, But we gonna get into it, man. We got a lot to talk about today. But let me get into the chat before I bring on Ray. My guy, Raider Resistance. Let me check. Oh, 639, buddy. 639. You're off by 1 minute. But my guy, Digital Prez, man, appreciate you coming through. My guy, DeMarcus Webb, what's good? Pharaoh and Ray, what's good, Nation? Appreciate you coming through, man. I haven't seen you in a minute, man. I appreciate you coming through. Sean Schefter Johnson, salute Pharaoh and Raider Ray. Appreciate you coming through. Adam, Sean Schefter Johnson. We're not gonna call you Adam Schefter, but you know we know who you are, man. Appreciate you all the good facts. Everyday cool Kev in the building. Appreciate you coming through. Yaya Hatamaki, yo, what's good, man? Appreciate you, my guy, coming through. Showing support once again. Let's see. Hold up. Let's see. Man, y'all came in really quick. Woo! I see you on the chat, man. Look. I don't want to wait. I don't want to keep my co-host waiting long. He's had a long day too, man. I could just tell. But let me bring him on. Hold on 1 second.
Hey, hold up. Before we get into this, man, if you thought Aidan O'Connell has earned the starting spot for the backup quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders, man, go hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. AOC is the official backup for the Raiders. I'm announcing it.
Hey, man, I agree. And we're going to get into that, man. We're going to get into our players that stood out from last game. And obviously, AOC, as they're calling them now. I think that's a cool little nickname. Some people ain't accepting it, but I am, man. AOC, man, he's shown a lot this preseason, and we'll get into it in a second. But let's get into the chat, man. Asna Villa in the building, man. He says, let's go. Anthony Estrada, yo, salute to my guys, PharoahNFL and Raider Ray, man. Appreciate you coming through. We got all types of people coming through. Matrix Raider, salute Raider Nation. Appreciate you. It is what it is, man. Hey, shout out to that podcast. Hilarious, by the way. The future is now. Yeah, man. Hey, yeah. I made that a thumbnail for a reason, man, because it's whoo, man. But we'll get into our thoughts about if it is now. Man, timeless intro. Hey, you hyping yourself up right now, but yeah, it's a dope intro. It's a dope intro, man. But yeah, man. Hey, man, I appreciate everybody coming through. We got a lot to talk about. A lot of Raider football to talk about, man. As usual. But let's get into it, man. Raiders Rams recap, man. What was your thoughts from last preseason game against the Rams?
I thought it was a little bit of a coming down to earth moment. I think that we've seen a little bit more competitive football. I think the box score was pretty ugly, right? The Raiders win dominantly, but there were some learning lessons there. Specifically, I don't think Brian Hoyer is the backup quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. God forbid if he sees the field this season. Let's not do that. But overall, man, I thought the defense got tested a little bit more. I think you've seen a little bit of that depth, not necessarily in the way that they went out there and performed great, but I think you've seen the Raiders' depth for what it is. And there's some growing that needs to be done. But overall, I like the trajectory of the football team. Aidan O'Connell went out there and kind of did his thing. I just think he's cementing himself, and we'll kind of get into the stock up. I'll wait on that for that segment. But overall, man, a good win. I think the Raiders went out there and did what they wanted to do, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, I like that, Josh McDaniels learned from last year's mistake of not playing the starters.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of learned from that. It was surprising. I didn't see it coming because it was kind of like a last minute thing. We didn't really know until kickoff that, the starters are going to be playing. I think all but 5 starters didn't play. I think Colton Miller didn't play. Renfro, Parham, I think he was a little bit banged up from last game. So, obviously they want to keep him healthy. Chandler Jones, I don't know what's going on with Chandler Jones. The Raiders they don't have to report any injuries because it's not the regular season. So we'll probably know a little bit more. And hopefully it's not something that's going to linger. But Chandler Jones didn't play. Bilal Nichols. And, yeah, man, that's pretty much all the players that missed last game. Majority of starters played. Jimmy looked sharp, 4 for 4, 39 yards. Led the team down the field. Touchdown drive. I ain't mad about that. I thought the defense, like you said, got tested a little bit. Like, it wasn't as a dominating performance as we seen against the Niners. I was like, oh, my God. Do we have a defense? Now I'm kind of like, man, we got to wait until the regular season to really know if they're deal because they're going to be facing better quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're in the AFC West, the AFC. We're going to be. This is just the nature of the NFL. You're going to face better quarterbacks, better passers, and that's when they're going to really get tested. But overall, man, like it was a lot to like. It's only things that we can talk about as far as players, and we'll get into that to stock up, stock down. But yeah, man, AOC, man, let's just get into it, man. Stock up. We'll start with the good, man. There's a whole lot of good from last game. Stock up. Who do you have?
Stock up.
Football.
On the offense, I've got obviously Aidan O'Connell. He's been the story of the preseason, not just for the Las Vegas Raiders, but at the quarterback position around the National Football League. He's getting recognition. And it's funny, this was Jimmy Garoppolo's first start. He goes 4 for 4 for 39 yards, yet the entire fan base can't stop talking about Aidan O'Connell. So I think that's pretty interesting. I think Aidan has this natural poise about him that the game isn't too big for him. Some players that you can just identify as when they get in the huddle and the other guys lock eyes with them, you know that they believe in this kid. It's still early. He doesn't know the entire playbook. So I'm not going to overreact, but where he's at right now in his career, you got to be happy with his development. And look, the future is exciting because, this is the style of quarterback that Josh McDaniels looks for in this offense. Someone who can stand in there, take a hit, goes where the football needs to go based off of where Josh McDaniels has it schemed and designed. A guy who has the ability to float the ball downfield. I think he has a nice little touch on the deep ball. He missed a few shots here and there, but overall for a young rookie, man, he's poised, he's calm, he's relaxed, he fires it in there, he's confident. So overall, yeah, stock up for me for Aidan O'Connell.
Man, I agree, and I'm gonna give my guy ONT6, man. I'm gonna give him what he's. Man, appreciate you coming through. But yeah, Aidan O'Connell was killing it, bro. He was killing it, man. He's been killing it all preseason, man. Literally, these are his numbers so far in the preseason. 72.2% completion rating, percentage. You got 304 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's calm, cool, collected, really good in the pocket. He's been protected well. I will say that. Like he's really been protected. But even when he's been protected, he's been able to maneuver in the pocket. You can see his calmness in the pocket and his accuracy.
Yep.
The only thing I'll say is I am kind of concerned, and it's early. You know, he's a rookie at the end of the day. His deep ball, you can kind of see that there's a little bit inconsistency there. His first throw, man, if he would have hit that.
Yeah, the first one was bad. I think the Cam Sims one later in the game, though, I think Cam Sims had it. I think that was a tracking issue. I think he could have made a big play there and hauled that in. Yeah, the first one, though, you're right. It's just there's a little bit of a touch issue there, and sometimes he gets a little bit too much air under the ball, so it loses a bit of that zip coming down. So, but there's also a few of them, you know, that I felt like were definitely catchable. You know, there were some drop passes, and we'll kind of get into a stock down player that I've got here in a little bit. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that there's not concern, but definitely some developing to do when it comes to the deep ball.
Right. And he's one of PFF's highest graded Raiders players on the field last game, which is not surprising. But I think that he's won that backup job. Now, as far as the starter, I don't think that he should be the starter right now. I don't think Garoppolo has done anything to lose the job. I think at the end of the day, you got to go with the veteran. You got to go. I don't think the Raiders want to put him out there this early. They like what they're seeing at the end of the day. And, hey, maybe we might be able to see, him at some point this season as far as
and I want to see him with the first team.
I do. And then, hey, look, and I remember hitting you about after the game. I was telling you, man, like I was wrong. I was wrong about Aidan O'Connell. I thought it was a terrible pick. Just based off, man, like based
off how he looks.
Hey, man, that's all you. But but for real, no. What I'm saying is that, like, you know, I'm looking at him. I'm like, man, it's an unathletic QB. We're looking at the NFL. The NFL is full of QBs that can run, pass. Obviously, you don't want to get a quarterback that can just run. You want, at the end of the day, his foundation has to be his ability to pass the football, and that's what I envision the Raiders having at the QB position. But that being said, if we're able to get a quarterback like Aidan O'Connell to turn into the next Tom Brady, and that's a crazy comparison.
Pump the brakes.
But hey, I've heard you compare him. Yeah. I've heard you compare him. I've heard other people compare him as far as a pocket passer.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities, specifically the accuracy.
Yeah. I didn't know he was going to be this good as far as. Man, like that throw he had against was it Trey Tucker on the sideline? It was a comeback route.
Yeah.
Woo! He threw it before he even broke. And that was I don't know, was that like a 25-yard comeback? It was crazy.
That and if you look at his pocket maneuverability, not his athleticism, but his ability to create an angle in the pocket and open up a window specifically in the middle of the field. Like this is what this offense is designed around. They're gonna attack outside the numbers, they're going to hit the deep post, they're going to attack the middle of the football field, and Aidan O'Connell is showing right now that he can do all those things and more.
Yeah, man. My guy T Severe in the hey, he says ready for the season to start, man. I feel you, man. Look, man, we're gonna put this down here,
and we've got Aidan O'Connell in the building. Actually, if you didn't see him in the chat,
man. And we're gonna put the call-in number a little bit earlier today, so at any point you guys can call in. You see the number 628-333-9343. If you guys have any thoughts about last game, what's coming in the future for the Raiders, man? Your thoughts on the season, anything, man? Call in. You see the number. But yeah, man. Hey, Aidan O'Connell is definitely one of the biggest. I think so far the preseason MVP. If you ask Raider Nation.
And I would say right now, based off of the players that we've taken in the draft, he's been the most productive. Right. So he's been the biggest standout as far as this rookie class goes. And that's a good thing because he plays the most premier position. So that's exciting. Aidan O'Connell in the building, everybody.
Aidan Carr Ramrod O'Connell says, I feel so disrespected by the Raiders for letting Carr wear my number for 9 years, but I'll let bygones by. Hey, man. Hey, you know what? You have right now. You're doing your thing right now. So that's all I can say, man. You're doing your thing. Keep it up. But yeah, I wish he had a different number though. I wish he had
too.
I wish he had a different number. Oh, okay. We're getting a phone call. Hold on 1 second.
Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
Okay, who we got? Hello.
Prank call.
Yeah, they got nervous. They got nervous.
Prank call.
It's all good. They got nervous. But yeah, no, I got some people talking about Aidan O'Connell. Raider Ray's in the building. He says, don't sleep on Freddie O'Connell Mercury, man. Hey, he's doing his thing. Cool Kev's O'Connell D-ball just above Jay Schroeder.
Oh, damn.
Hey, you know what? I don't think it's that bad. I think like Ray said, there was okay, hold on. Let's see. Hold up.
Let's not get trolled here.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hold on. What we got? Hello. All right, let's go. All right.
We might have to just wait for the call-in section.
All right. Okay. So who is your second player that you believe has stock up, man? He's on the rise.
We're gonna go visit the offensive line, the big men, the big nasties who get it done, and I'm gonna go Jermaine Illuminor. I thought he swung out to left tackle, and I do want to say this is Jermaine Illuminor. We have yet to see a false start penalty this preseason, which was a huge issue for him last season. Starting at right tackle, I know it's preseason, but hopefully he can start working on getting those things cleaned up. But as far as playing style, he shows that he can be that swing guy, go over to the left side, not an easy transition. And he kept the pocket clean. Now, he did let up a sack, but that necessarily was not on him. Brian Hoyer was doing Brian Hoyer things, holding onto the football for way too long, and obviously got sacked on the play, but I don't put that on Jermaine Illuminor. Overall, man, his kick slide, his hand placement, he's playing with good, solid technique. Jermaine Illuminor looks like, again, he's starting to separate himself from me in the preseason.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Illuminor, he played well, especially on the left side, too. And even the sack that Brian Hoyer, I put that on Brian Hoyer, man. He should have got the ball out. It was like literally he had all day to throw that ball. Let me see. What's going on? Let me see if I can answer this.
Call from.
Oh, okay. I think it's OG.
Voicemail, press 2.
Hello.
Hey, it's OG.
OG, how you doing?
Appreciate you coming through, man. Pretty good. Long time no talk, man. How's everything going with you?
Things are getting better, physically getting better, mentally getting better, all that stuff. Let me tell you something, man.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to call a couple times. I realized my headphones were broke. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I was calling because we had Jimmy G come onto the field this week. He looked pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
You know?
Yep.
And I wasn't surprised, you know. And then we brought in Brian Hoyer after that, and I'm thinking they need to place him in assisted living. He's getting more AARP letters than I am, for sure.
Oh, man. Shots fired, man. That deserves a shots fired.
Did I say something untrue? Come on, man.
No, it's true.
Aidan O'Connell, he's got poise. This kid looks good. He looks like my freaking paper boy, but he's damn good.
Yeah, man, he looks good. He looks good out there, man. I don't want to call him the starter just yet, just because, you know, we got to give Jimmy G a chance to show what he can do. Obviously, he got that big contract, but I agree, man. Aidan O'Connell, he's an older rookie, though. He is an older rookie. He's like what?
If Jimmy G goes down, we get this kid who looks like he's been playing in the pro level league for a few years. I'm sorry. Look at all those first round picks everybody's fighting for, those top 4. Aidan O'Connell makes them look like skunk ass. Okay, let's be real. Aidan O'Connell is the best rookie QB in this draft. Now,
okay,
we look at Brian Hoyer. Move him off don't put him in the IR, put him in assisted living, okay? He's 106 years old. He's horrible, okay? It's painful to watch him. He looks like a one-legged man going out into an ass-kicking contest.
The one thing that I think Brian Hoyer, man, OG, man, always coming in with the joke.
I love it.
But the one thing that I'll say that Aidan, he's definitely past his prime. But one thing that I will say that will keep him on the roster is I don't think that the Raiders want to put Aidan out to the fire so soon. They actually want him to, even though as good as he looks like he's played in that offense for years. But I think that the fact that, obviously Brian Hoyer has the experience of playing in that offense for so long, I think that's the edge that he has. And I think that's the only edge. That's all I'm saying. I know it sounds crazy, but Josh McDaniels had Brian Hoyer playing the entire half.
Right.
For what reason? What?
It was horrible. It was painful to watch. He goes down. I don't want to see Brian Hoyer in there. How many losses is that? At least O'Connell, we got a chance.
Right, man. But what are your thoughts, man, as far as this season, man? How do you feel? Like, are you more optimistic at this point, or are you still kind of wait and see?
Cut down my smoking, so I don't cough a lot more. I'm not smoking as much.
Okay.
All right, that's a good thing, OG.
Okay, but Jimmy G could be great as long as he's healthy. But if he goes down, okay,
yeah,
I don't want to see Brian Hoyer.
Yeah,
okay. I want to see Aidan O'Connell because at least we had a shot. Let me explain something to you. I saw Jimmy G go out there, threw some short balls, threw some medium balls, all that. No balls that were deep, okay? This guy can only go balls deep in the chicken range. if Aidan O'Connell comes out, we got a deep
I'm gonna have
ball
to give.
again, okay?
Let's see.
I'm just saying that.
The only way I want to see Hoyer have anything to do with this roster is if, he's maybe on the veteran protected practice squad and he's literally Aidan O'Connell's teacher of development. If Jimmy G gets hurt and he can't, and he's missing some time, I would be okay with having Hoyer in the quarterback room to help Aidan O'Connell game plan, give him more eyes to see what coverages he's seeing. That's pretty much where I see Hoyer.
That's my point. I think that's
cool.
what the value is.
But I don't want to see him on the field. He's horrible.
No, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, like I said, one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Okay, not ideal.
Hey, OG, man, we got to get back to the show, man. Do you have any predictions for the season?
Predictions?
Yeah.
No, I have no predictions. I just want us to go out and do the best we can, and let's see what we got. I can't get as emotionally involved as I used to because I'm on, they just put me on high blood pressure meds. And,
oh man!
And I can't do that. I'm risking my health, so I'm just going to be watch, observe. But I think if we can elevate Aidan O'Connell to QB2 and put Brian Hoyer out to pasture or the glue factory or assisted living, great. But we're good. But other than that, I got no predictions because our schedule is so tough. I have no clue. I have no clue.
It's a good point, man.
I really don't. I've been watching this shit for 50 years, man. And I have no clue. I'm just like, okay. Jimmy G looks good. Aidan O'Connell looks good. Brian Hoyer looks like a really bad idea. That's where I'm at with it. And no, man, it's good to see you two guys again. I haven't talked to anybody in a while. I haven't talked to you guys in a while, but I just wanted to come on and just say, hey, we got a chance. I'm not going to say we don't.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more optimistic than I was before, but
definitely.
Brian Hoyer's got to go.
Mm.
Hey, there you have it.
It's always good hearing from you, though, OG.
all bullshit. You know goddamn well you're gonna bleep me out a lot.
Hey, appreciate you calling, OG, man. Hey, we'll talk to you next time.
I love you guys.
All right, man.
Love you, dude. See you.
All right.
Good night.
OG in the building.
OG, man. That's always a classic.
Man, day one supporter, man.
Always, yeah. But
let's get back to it, man. You were talking about Jermaine Illuminor holding it down. He was playing on the left side. They had Thayer Mumford on the right side, who also played well. Mm-hmm. Honorable mention. He's one of my honorable mention guys too. Would you say Jermaine Illuminor on a good O-line? Would you say like he's pretty much a good swing tackle?
Yeah. And I just look, he's not your creative character in any type of video game. You know, you're not going to make a build of Jermaine Illuminor. He's just not that player, but he's a good starting right tackle. I mean, and that's what I want in this offense right now. Somebody who can keep Jimmy G upright. I think he proved that last year that he's able to do that. He's got to clean up some penalty issues, but outside of that, from a fundamental standpoint, he's developed. So, yeah, man, I'm okay with Jermaine Illuminor, and I just want to continue to see him develop and separate himself, stay off of Twitter a little bit, get out of his own head, and just get out there and play football.
Cool, Kev, man. He's not a big believer. He says Illuminor will make his mistakes. It's coming, and a
lot of players are going to make their mistakes. It's definitely coming.
But he does have a little bit of a point. I think that was his weakness last year as far as penalties goes. So hopefully he's cleaned them up this year. But yeah, man, if he can be, hey, he looked good out there. He looked good, man, because the quarterbacks, I think from Hoyer, it didn't matter if Jimmy G was out there, Hoyer, Aidan O'Connell, they had plenty of time to pass the ball. So that's a good sign as far as our O-line goes. But let's get into the defense.
Okay.
Let's get into the defense, man. And one of my stock ups as far as players on the rise is actually someone just said it in the chat here. My guy Raider Way, Drake Thomas, linebacker.
Thomas,
man, 12 tackles, 9 solo,
12 tackles and a half, mind you,
in a half, and he earned a 90.4 run defense grade. So far, that's in the preseason. So far in the preseason, that's like third best. And he's only allowing 3.3 yards in as far as per catch in coverage. So that's another good sign, especially for a linebacker in a room where there is a possibility where he can contribute if he can come in. I mean, he's an undrafted rookie. We understand there's some players in front of him, Divine Diablo and Robin Spillane, but it's not a linebacker room on paper that you would say, oh man, like this is one of the best in the league. It's definitely they got to prove a lot. There's a lot to prove. But what are your thoughts on Drake Thomas's game?
It was a great game for him. He really shot his stock up. And look, you don't blink, but the Raiders have, some undrafted guys that are really out there competing. And historically, we've seen what Josh McDaniels likes to do at that linebacker spot. He's going to give guys who maybe aren't highly selected opportunities to come in here and compete. He's going to invest in those edge rushers. He's going to invest in some DBs. And these linebackers are going to have to kind of figure it out and sort and shake. And we're going to see a mix of guys this season. So I think Curtis Bolton is in that mix. He showed up on special teams. He's got a little bit of dog in him as well. Drake Thomas has that. Luke Masterson is another one of those guys who is developing. He's kind of a little under the radar a little bit. So I'm not saying that this linebacker room is good. Matter of fact, it's probably my biggest question mark on this Raiders defense. But let's be honest, these young guys are going out there and they're playing fast, playing physical, and that's all I'm asking for right now at this point in preseason.
Yeah, man, I like what I'm seeing, and but he's not the only one that had a good game on defense. Even though I didn't think they had as dominating a performance against the Rams, I would say Malcolm Kuntz was another guy that I would say is also another player on the rise. He's had a really great training camp so far, constant pressure. He was only credited with one hit, but you could tell he was winning his matchup every time. I think there was a point in the drive where they're in the red zone. I think he single-handedly took over and got him off the field, and they forced it. I don't know if you remember that part of the game. It was he's definitely shown up. I think he's gotten stronger. He's undersized, so obviously going into training camp, people were questioning, is he going to be a guy that's probably going to get cut because he's from the previous regime? Is he a guy that fits within the, Patrick Graham, D lineman? Because if you look at all the D linemen, they're all pretty big. He's kind of undersized compared to the type of DNs and, D lineman that, Patrick Graham wants. But he's shown up. He's shown up, man. I think
he is the most disruptive defensive end as far as the backups are out there, and I don't necessarily even think it's close. And he was having a quiet OTA, then you started kind of hearing his name a little bit. You didn't hear his name honestly until joint practices started to show up, and then he got some reps in the game, and that's when he really kind of stepped onto the scene. So we were talking about him and Adam Plant going at it. I think he has separated himself from Adam Plant. Then we talked about Jordan Willis and Malcolm Kuntz, and Jordan Willis is playing good football now, don't get me wrong. But Malcolm Kuntz is just adding something that this modern NFL needs, and that's a third down pass rusher, a guy who's a rotational piece, who's constantly disruptive. His one-arm stab move is it's disgusting. So I love what he brings to the table. I've been a Malcolm Kuntz guy for a while now. I even did a film breakdown on him last year. But yeah, it's nice to see Malcolm Kuntz finally earn some reps. He kind of felt like he was in a doghouse with this coaching staff last season, even in training camp when Josh McDaniels had that soundbite video of him chewing out Malcolm Kuntz for getting in the face of DC. And ever since then, it just kind of felt like Malcolm Kuntz, whether it was practice abilities or whatever the case may be, he just never seen the field. So hopefully that can change this year and Malcolm Kuntz gets more playing time.
But that's a loaded, room right there. You got Max Crosby, Chandler Jones. They just drafted our guy Tyree Wilson, and then you have, even there's some guys. Do you feel like guys like Isaiah or Isaac Rochelle? Yeah, he's shown up during game day. Like he's over here sacking quarterbacks. So it's going to be a tough. There might be a surprise cut in there. You know what I mean? There's going to be some surprise cuts. Every year there's always going to be a surprise cut. And Malcolm Kuntz, there is a possibility, even though he's had a good training camp, he's not their guy. Like he's not the guy that they drafted. So there is a possibility, but I think, hopefully he stays on and gets the opportunity, man, because we haven't seen him during the game, because that's one of the things that we always had that question. Like, what happened to Malcolm Kuntz? Why is he not in the game? And that you mentioned a good point, how like it felt like he was in a doghouse with this coaching staff, but it is what it is, man. But yeah, man, who are your honorable mentions, man? Because those were our obviously 2 offense, 2 defense. Yeah. Who are people that you kind of like, Isaiah Polamalu, he stepped up, had that 50-yard interception return. He's a chess piece on that defense. He's versatile. So I think that's his basically way to make it into the roster. But it's going to be tough, though, for him, especially because, like, they already have, 3 safeties in there? 4 safeties? Because you got the starting safeties. You have
Chris Smith.
No, you got the starting safeties and Marcus Epps and Trayvon Moore, Chris Smith, who was drafted. So I'm not sure they're not gonna cut him.
No,
that's 3 safeties. Then you got Roderick Teamer, who's like a special teams ace. That's gonna be tough. That's who he's battling.
Did he play last game?
He did, and he actually played pretty well.
Okay,
he played pretty well. He had a couple of like really physical tackles, but it's gonna be tough for a guy like Polamalu. But at that being said, I think that his ability to be moved around and around that defense, and he's younger. You see how athletic, how fast he was on that return. So there's a chance where he can probably make the team, but that might be a tough cut there too. And does he make it to practice squad? Do you see a player like that make it to practice squad?
Yeah, he could. He definitely could. And I think another notable mention for me was DeAndre Carter. Mm-hmm. I thought special teams value. I thought he brought a lot as far as you've seen flashes of that speed, that ability to have a breakaway. He almost broke one off down on the sideline. So that was nice. So it's good to see a special teamer contribute and create explosive plays in the return game. So I thought DeAndre Carter should get thrown into that list as well.
Raider Way mentions another guy, weekend at Bernie's. He's probably alluding to Amari Burney, who had 5 tackles. So he's another linebacker the Raiders drafted. Obviously, he's going to make the team. He was drafted in the 6th round, right? 5th or 6th round? Yeah, so he's definitely shown up. I think, Roten has pretty much won that offensive guard spot. I think he's won it. Even though Alex Barr, he actually had a solid game, but I think, Greg Van Roten, offensive guard at that right guard spot, I think he's won that spot. He's played well. I know you mentioned linebacker Curtis Bolton. He played well. So there's definitely a few players that played well last game. DeAndre Carter. Do we officially have a punt returner?
Yep. I mean, that's what I just kind of alluded to. I think he's the punt returner.
Put him at kick return too.
Put him at kick return. So I think DeAndre Carter, he's a good football player too, coming from the Chargers. Like, he's one of those underrated pieces. I think when you see us move the football east and west behind the line of scrimmage and get guys in motion, I think DeAndre Carter is going to be used on those wheel routes, creating space for the other guys across the middle of the field. So yeah, I think DeAndre Carter is going to carve himself out. And to be honest with you, do you see Philip Dorsett making the roster, or is this going to be kind of like a Demarcus Robinson situation last year?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough, man. I think it's going to be tough because you already have at least 4 spots taken. You have obviously, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, and then you got Trey Tucker, who was just drafted. They're gonna incorporate him in the offense using his speed. And that's 4 spots right there. So there's like 5. Are they gonna keep 6 receivers? Maybe 5? Is a 5th spot open? Christian Wilkerson.
Yeah, he's had a good camp. He's had a good camp,
and he has history with the Patriots.
Yep.
So that's another player that has
good run blocker.
Exactly, he has history in that system, and he's shown up well a little bit. So he might, and he's a bigger receiver. I think he's got 6'3". So I'm thinking that they're probably going to want to go for a bigger receiver to fill out that last spot.
You think he's definitely edged out Cam Sims?
Cam Sims, other than that touchdown catch, I didn't really see him do anything.
I know, it's unfortunate.
I haven't heard him too much. I wish a guy that size you would love to have in that room. But hey, man, Devontae Adams, like what, 6'3"? You got some big receivers, but he had an opportunity to. If he made that big catch with him and Aidan O'Connell, that deep throw on 3rd and 7. Maybe, but hey, at the end of the day, I just think that he's probably going to be an odd man out. Maybe practice squad candidate, possibly. But who do you see getting that 5th spot?
So for the wide receiver room, you're talking about?
Yeah, wide receiver room.
So Devontae, Jacoby,
I forgot DeAndre Carter. That's 5 spots.
Trey Tucker, DeAndre Carter, pretty much.
Yeah.
Who's going to be us? 6. You might throw in Philip Dorsett, but I don't know, man. That's going to be tough.
Hey, David Long Jr. kind of played well too.
Yeah, he played good. He also came up in the run game too. Got his head in there and created some nice tackles. So that was nice to see. But I kind of want to stick to the wide receiver room, and I kind of want to go to our stock down list.
Okay, we'll get into that second list. Let's get into the chat real quick. You know what I mean? Michael Mayer had a nice catch. Yeah, did he only have 1 catch? And I think Hoyer missed him when he threw that pick 6.
Yeah.
I think he missed him really bad, obviously. Yeah. But man, appreciate everybody coming through. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. It'll be much appreciated. Hey, the algorithm is very real, so the more you like the video, subscribe. If you haven't already, hit that notification bell so next time we go live, you'll be notified. Right now, this week, we're going to be on my channel, and we got a call real quick. Hey, let's see who this is. Let's see who this is.
Call from
Raphael Chastain.
Oh, we got Raphael in the building.
Press 2.
Hello, Raph. What's going on?
Hey, I'm doing good. Ray, Pharaoh, the most dynamic duo on the Raiders. And what can I say about it? This is really awesome.
Appreciate you calling in, man. What are your thoughts about the Raiders so far in the preseason?
Oh, man, what can I say about it? Aidan O'Connell is going to be like the future of the quarterback. If you had the speed, the intensity, and, of course, he got everything could happen on the preseason, because I know preseason is evaluated all those players coming to different positions. Wide receiver, quarterback, there's running back, also the linebacker. But Aidan O'Connell, that one, it shook me up, because right now he got the speed, the intensity. He could have landed on the 2nd spot, because if Jimmy Garoppolo can stay healthy, they can really have it about those of the secondary team. I mean, Aidan O'Connell, it could be like one of those biggest choices because at first we drafted to Purdue. I mean, it's like, oh my God, is it gonna be serious right now? But so right now, that choice, and for right now, we just give it like a potential spot because at that point, Aidan O'Connell is gonna be like really is gonna be brighter for the next year. I mean, this could be like one of the deciding moments that I just hear for the quarterback Aidan O'Connell and those performances that I gave it like a lot of energy out of his quarterback.
So I can hear your excitement, man. I can hear you. I hear you excited about Aidan O'Connell. So how do you feel about? Are you excited for the season? Like, do you feel like the Raiders have a good chance this year from what you've seen so far in the preseason?
Yeah, I think there's gonna be like a really good start right now because I know the last season they had some kind of like issues for the defense, the red zone, but I think this season, when it comes to the preseason and the regular season, I just wanted to see like an improvement about for the linebackers, the cornerbacks, and of course the secondary team and the special teams. I mean, this could have happened like the X factor. I know for a fact because he could be Aidan O'Connell could be like in the future at the position, but there's no way that it will drop away and hand out his French over to O'Connell this summer. But I think that it's gonna be like this. Jimmy Garoppolo could be like the quarterback number one starter. Also, Aidan O'Connell could be the second quarterback, and the third one is gonna be Chase Garbage because Hoyer, he doesn't have like a great attention because I mean, Brian Hoyer, he's got that water finger. I mean, it's not very possible because I didn't see like a lot of that teams, but I would rather to choose between Chad Gerber over Brian Hoyer because Hoyer, it doesn't have it great enough to have it a good performance. So I would say this. Garoppolo at number one, Aidan O'Connell number two, and Chase Garber at number three. That's going to be like a position for the quarterback. It's going to be really stacked.
Yeah, no, hey man, if it was up to me and if the Raiders had a lot of faith in Aidan O'Connell, I mean he's a rookie, so they're probably gonna want to keep Hoyer in that room. But if it was just based off, having quarterbacks, I think it was pretty typical like to have like just two quarterbacks. You have your starting quarterback, backup quarterback, and that's pretty much it. But I think last few years with Gruden and obviously I think did we keep three quarterbacks? It was just two. Last year?
Yeah, and people think that Aidan O'Connell is being
two.
compared to Tom Brady. I really have it very confused at all, but I mean, Aidan O'Connell has a very potential because I know the speed and intensity of his coach to the quarterback. But some people are going to compare it to Aidan O'Connell to Tom Brady. I think like it's a very confused at all, but if you see the comparison between the backup quarterback and the starter quarterback, you might see like a real difference.
Well, man, I appreciate the call, Raph, man. Any last thoughts, man? Do you want to say to Raider Nation?
I just wanted to tell you that salute to the chat, salute to Harold and Raider Ray because you guys are the most dynamic duo on the Raiders. And of course, when it comes to teams against Dallas Cowboys, I'm gonna keep it PG-13 because I'm not gonna curse it. I just wanted to say it. Dallas Cowboys suck. Let's go Raider Nation for life.
There you go, bro. Thank you, Raph. All right, Raph. Dallas Cowboys suck. And hey, man, we got another call. Let's hold on. Let's see who this is.
Call from.
I'm a Raider, baby. You ain't gotta ask enough.
Send a voicemail.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing, brother? What's your name, man? Where you calling from? Oh, Damian Bonds. Man. Oh, man. Man. Damian Bonds in the building.
What's going on, Damian?
Hey. Man, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you calling in, man. Man, what are your thoughts of the Raiders, man?
Man, honestly, I just wanted to double back on where y'all was at. And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. When we had the punter Marquette King, did we have Khalil Mack?
Yes, we did.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a big special teams guy. You know, Daniel Carlson is my favorite guy on the squad, right? But anyway, so
One of the best
just to
kickers.
Get back to that, just to get back to that, he is the best kicker. But that, you know how they're gonna treat Tucker. But anyway,
Right.
Just to get back to what you were saying about Carter or Tucker. Now, what having Cole and Carlson in a return game, that is so important to me. I understand how important it is and what it can do for a team and how far it goes. Imagine Max Crosby starting inside the 20 every time.
Yep. It's
You
an
get what
it's
I'm saying?
it's an advantage. It's an advantage. Field position is huge, and we haven't had it, especially offensively. Like offensively, we've always I got to look at the numbers, but like I feel like we consistently start at the 20, the 25, when other teams who, man, at the end of the day, like if we got to constantly go 80 yards to score a touchdown, it's gonna be tough.
Come on now. Come on.
You know, so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's just, and then when you got let's say a return for 35, 40 yards, we're damn near 8 to 10 yards away from Carlson's range.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah.
That's money every drive.
That's points. That's points. That's points, man.
But from what I've seen, I like Tucker returning the ball a little more than Carter.
Okay. Well,
I know he probably won't get the nod, but
you said you like Tucker more than Carter?
Yeah, on returning the ball.
Well, I think that they're gonna split the jobs. I think Tucker is gonna handle kickoffs, and then Carter is gonna handle punt returns. And hey, if you seen last game, Carter almost took it to the house on that punt return.
Right.
So
and Tucker got pushed out of bounds by the kick.
Yeah.
Didn't Tucker though? Didn't he drop a kick return though? Didn't he drop one in the end zone and bring it out and got tackled at the 10?
Yeah, that's rookie mistake. Mistake.
Yeah, he muffed a kick. Yeah, he muffed a kick. So that's why I kind of edged out Carter this week for me when it came to returns.
Yeah, that
that's huge.
having a veteran, because imagine that being like a real regular season game against a divisional opponent, close game.
Exactly.
You make a mistake like that, like that's huge.
And we've seen that a lot, right? We've seen those rookie mistakes, big moments, big games, and something happens. I'm more comfortable with DeAndre has history in the NFL doing it. He obviously still has that speed and still has that burst. I will let Trey walk into that role and kind of beat out Carter, but for right now, my opinion, I'm probably going to give it to Carter.
Yeah.
Right. Now that muff punt definitely just made me think deeper. I mean, that muff kick, that's huge. We're talking about field position here.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the season, man? Are you excited, man? It's only one last preseason game. They're gonna have final rosters by next week. So go ahead.
My thoughts on the season is, sorry, Rod, you got a ghetto ass Rod.
It's all good.
But my thoughts on the season is, if they start calling holding on Max Crosby, we're going to the playoffs. I don't care who the other 10 people with.
That's true.
They
That's
start
Max.
calling holding on Max Crosby, we're going to the playoffs.
He
didn't showed us what 3. He didn't show us. He can't be stopped.
Right. And if he gets some help on the other side, if Chandler Jones can have a bounce back year, if Tyree Wilson
can flash a little bit,
you know what I mean? If Malcolm Coots can show that he's improved, man, and you give that and you put that on the other side, that's going to give him. It's going to give, Max Crosby even more opportunities to get to the quarterback.
But what's going to help all those guys is if we get push interior on the interior side of the defensive line.
100%, man. But Damian Bonds, man, hey, man, I appreciate you calling in. We're getting calls in right now. Is there any last thoughts, man? Anything you want to plug to let the Raider Nation know?
New Orleans is looking scary. I'll let y'all, man.
All right, man. Peace out, bro. All right. man. That's Damian Bonds, man. The guy that did the Raider Baby song, man. That's one of my favorite Raider songs, to be honest with you, man.
Yeah, that was good.
Go out and check that out. But I think we had a caller call in. If you want to call back again, I seen you calling in. But yeah, but let's get back to it, man. Let's get back to it.
Stock downs.
Stock down, man. And Port I think Port Adelaide Raiders says Adams, Jacoby, Renfro, Tucker, Cardi. Yeah, I agree. Once we thought about it, we're like, yeah, there's no way. Maybe if 6 of Wilkerson, yeah. No, I get you 100%. But let's get back to stock down. We talked about the players that played well this last game and so far in the preseason. Let's get to stock down. Hold on 1 second. Let me get to it, man. Let me get into it. Stock down. Oh man, we getting calls left and right. All right. Let's
Call from
Austin from San Jose.
Austin, my guy Austin. I think I know who Austin is.
Press 2.
Austin. What's going on, Austin? Is this Austin Avila?
Yes, sir. I thought my government mistakes.
Hey, yeah. My bad. Hey, we gonna do this, man.
Got you covered up.
Pretty good, man. Hey, man, we appreciate you, man. You always supporting. We see you in the chat, always commenting, man. What's up, man? What's your thoughts on the Raiders so far in the preseason?
Yeah, man. I want to talk some balls, y'all. It's interesting. I'm really excited about the this draft class. I think it's like the first time in a while where we've seen like early fruits from the people that we've drafted first, second, third, deep into the round. You know, I mean, with Aidan O'Connell being the primary guy that's standing out, but also, I mean, like I think Trey Tucker is going to be a beast once he learns how to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Split and things like that, and then obviously the defense is going to be a process. But I think like ultimately, like it's all this stuff is great until they get punched in the mouth. Like we'll really truly find out what this team's made of once they get punched in the mouth for the first time. And I'm curious to see if they can learn how to win this year. I mean, they struggled with that last year.
Josh McDaniels has coached undefeated preseason football. He's 2-0 this year. I think he's like 5-0 so far. I don't know, last couple years, but yeah, he needs to prove that he could. That's one of the things with Josh McDaniels. I want him to consistently coach winning football. You know, last year there were some black marks last season. We're in the record books for the wrong reasons. We all know, like the Raiders I think lost like a record 4 games when they're up like 10 plus points. Forgot what
lost 6 1-score games.
I don't want to remember it. I want to forget about it.
Yeah, hopefully, trash.
Hopefully we don't got to deal with it this season. But is there any players that you were excited about this preseason?
Oh man, I mean, like I think like all eyes really go to like Harry Wilson. I'm really excited to see him get on the field because I mean, if he could figure it out and we could put him in like the middle of that defensive line and get that interior pressure on Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, that really transforms our defense. And like obviously, like I'm not sold on the linebacking core at all. Really, like I know Tulane is supposed to be a dog, and he definitely flashed a little bit, but I don't know, man. I'm excited to see him work with Crosby and Chandler Jones coming off the edge, and see what the fruits of that relationship are. But yeah, man, I'm hoping that they can put it together this year. It seems like another year in the system. I feel like we haven't had that in 5 or 6 years, something like that, with our defensive coordinators. Hopefully these guys don't have their heads spinning while they're on the field. They can just play.
Man, yeah, I agree 100%, man. And is there any predictions you want to give to Raider Nation? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, do you think that it's going to be playoff year? Do you feel like it's going to be an improvement, but maybe miss the playoffs? Like, what are your thoughts on the season?
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay optimistic, but also within like the means of the situation. I think having a quarterback that's been to the playoffs, has that like winning mentality. No slight at like Derek Carr. I mean, thank you for everything he's done for the Raiders, and good luck on his next journey. But I think that's gonna be really interesting to follow, to see how his leadership impacts the entire locker room as far as being a winner, and then trying to just have everyone else buy into that. But I mean, ultimately, I think we're going to be improved. I think, like, honestly, I'm going to say 9-8 is probably our ceiling, but I could see it getting ugly as well. I don't think we should throw in the towel with McDaniels, unless we see the same exact mistakes from last year. I think just like the development that we've gotten out of Aidan O'Connell and these other folks, it's really prominent with this coaching staff. So I would like to see year 3. I think it's going to be 9-8, probably maybe 6-11 again, unfortunately. But I just want to see improvements across the board.
Man, hey, man, this is a great call, man. I appreciate you calling in, Austin, man. Hey, we see you out there. You always supporting, man. But let's if we can send you back in the chat, man. And if you do you have any thoughts for Raider Nation, man? Like, let them know how you feel about the Raiders, man.
Hey, man, I've been a fan since '95. I was born on the Super Bowl, unfortunately, when 49ers won against the Chargers. But I've been a fan my whole life. I'm just trying to see them get back to the playoffs. Return to the commitment to excellence, man. But I hope you all have a good day. Shout out to Raider Nation. Until next time. Peace.
You too, brother. All right, man. Thank you, Austin. My guy, Austin, man. Hey, man, he's always supporting. I think that was the first time him calling in, man. So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get back into it, man. Charles Washington says, "What's up, boys? I won't be surprised if Kuntz doesn't make the 53." Hey, I was thinking about it because every year there's always tough cuts, and I feel like Kuntz, man,
You think Jordan Willis squeaks it out? I mean, who's going to make it above him?
Because it's going to be I think it's going to be between him and Jordan Willis. It's tough.
That is tough. I would probably still lean Kuntz, to be honest with you. But.
Yeah, I know, but I think maybe Jordan Willis might fit for whatever they're doing. Oh man. All right, we got another call, but we gonna have to get to it, man.
This might be our last caller.
Call from
Auntie Six.
Auntie Six, man, in the building. What's going on, Auntie Six, man?
What's up, Pharaoh? What's up, Ray? How you guys doing?
What's good, Auntie Six?
Even though I don't have a master's degree or run a $1 million corporation, but I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Oh no, it's all good, man. We appreciate you calling in, man. It's been a minute. Like, how you feel about the Raiders, man? Like, it's a lot has happened since the last time we spoke.
Yeah. Well, anything, I just want to, thank you guys, and you guys always do an amazing job, and I appreciate you guys very much. I mean, in my opinion about the Raiders, I'm a little, I'm not trying to keep my hopes up or too low, but the thing is, too, the only thing that has me a little, on the up and up with O'Connell is just him at the line of scrimmage, him out calling audibles. And I also like how he slides to the left and slides to the right, just to
pocket presence,
pressure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just that little small stuff that I noticed, and that's real impressive to me. But I just got a question for you and Ray. You know what I mean? I only see us probably carrying 4 or 5 defensive tackles on the roster on the final 53. So if Nesta Silva is there, I don't think if we cut him, I don't think team's gonna claim him. So you think we'll carry 6 defensive tackle, or you think you wouldn't have to take the chance and cut him and let another team claim him?
That's a good question. I think there's going to be some tough cuts, like we talked about earlier on this team. But I think that, one of the guys I think that might be a tough cut is one of my guys it's on the stock down list.
Yeah,
and I'll get into that in a second. But how do you feel about it, Ray? I'll let you take this question.
Nessa Jade is going to be one of those guys you probably stash on the practice squad. I don't know that he necessarily is going to get picked up. I'm not going to say he's really stood out in a huge way this preseason. He's had some good run fits. He's flashed some ability to rush the passer a little bit. I think he's practicing a lot better than what he's performing when the lights come on. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
When you look at the defensive tackle room, you're going to have Jerry Tillery, Bilal Nichols, Adam Plant. Is Neil Farrell going to make the roster as a run defender? Like Matthew Butler, he might be on the out. Like there's a lot of moving and shaking going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
So Nesta Jade Silvera, I like him. I like the attitude that he brings. I feel like he definitely is a Raider. But look, the roster spots are going to be hard to come by this year. So me personally, if I had to make a prediction right now, I would probably say Nesta Jade is going to be a practice squad guy.
Yeah. Especially because he hasn't flashed in the game. So he hasn't put anything on tape, on film for other teams to be like, oh, okay, this is a player that we definitely want on this team. So I think the Raiders probably think that, even though they probably would value him, because I think he was one of the guys that they paid more at as an undrafted free agent. I think they feel like they probably can get away. Yeah, I think they can get away with it, putting him on the practice squad. But yeah, man. Hey, man, what are your thoughts, man, on the season? On the season, man. Like, do you what's your predictions, man?
I think we're gonna be winning 10 games, and we're gonna be win one playoff game. That's what I really think. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this team is deeper than it was last season.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing Jimmy Garoppolo, he's the perfect quarterback for the system. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say he's an upgrade over Carr, but he's the perfect quarterback for the system. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? This defense is gonna be well improved. You know, last time did live on my buddy Avocazzi and Raider Joe, Stu popped on the live. You know what I mean? Former safety. For the Raiders, and he said there's a big jump of you going into being your defensive system year 1 and year 2. You know what I mean? And I see this defense taking a jump. I'm not saying it's going to be a top 10 defense, but as long as maybe in between maybe 15 through 20, I'll be fine with that. And that means that we got a chance to win every game. So that's what matters to me at the end of the day. But thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it. You know. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone. So just keep modest, man. Go Raiders, and you guys have a good night.
Hey, you too, bro. Hey, man. Have a good one, bro. On the way out. All right, man. We've been getting all these calls, man. We appreciate everybody calling in, man. We appreciate the support. But we're gonna get into the stock down. Our stock down, man. So who do you have on offense that's trending downwards, man? Who?
Let me start with the one that I might get a little bit of pushback for. And for me, Trey Tucker was 3 of 7, caught 3 of 7 passes, dropped the kickoff, brought it out to the 10-yard line when he probably should have caught it, kneeled it, put us at the 25. Rookie mistake. He's just consistently shown drop passes, and he also had a drop touchdown in the end zone last game. So, look, I love his upside. I love Trey Tucker as a player. I love his burst. I love his route running. I think he just needs to work on that concentration and settle down a little bit. If Trey Tucker can just settle down a little bit and not be so excited and trying to move before the ball is secure, then I think he'll be all right. But for me right now, Trey Tucker was a stock down for me. But look, he has a ton of upside. I like the deep comeback that he had with Aidan O'Connell. That was a beautiful connection. I believe he connected on a 40-yard pass as well. So, look, there's flashes there. I just think if he could put a game together, a whole game together where he's not dropping the ball consistently, then I would be more than happy to put him on my stock up list. But I'm just not quite there yet.
Yeah, he needs to go to the jugs machine and be on that every day, man. Hopefully he'll get better. I think he'll get better. I don't think it was an issue. I don't think he had that issue in college. He did bounce back in the second half. I felt like he kind of stepped up a little bit. He made a great catch. We were talking about that throw by Aidan O'Connell, but it was also a great catch by Trey Tucker, that comeback route. It was like 25-yard comeback route. It was crazy.
He extended. It was nice.
He extended, had concentration that you talked about, but it needs to be more consistent.
Yep.
So hopefully, I think next game, hopefully he gets in the game a little bit and we can see some improvement. But I get you, man. This is the second time. Last week he was on
that back shoulder in the end zone. That one was tough.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the DB, he had the DB's back. Like, those are the plays in big games. Like, you're going to have to grab those and come down with it.
Yeah. And actually, this might be segueing to the next player, because the guy that threw that ball, who should have had a touchdown, I think is he the next guy on your stock down?
Go ahead, jump right into him.
Brian Hoyer, man. Hey, 12 for 22, 144 yards, 1 interception, and it was a pick six. He didn't look good. His arm, he got a noodle arm. It was a bad throw. It was a bad throw that he made to throw that pick six. Obviously, when you throw a pick six, it's always going to be terrible. But what I'm saying is that you don't expect that from a guy who's played in that system, who has experience in that system. And he played the entire half. I just didn't understand that move by McDaniels, but I think this is a guy that they probably from what I heard, they brought him out of retirement. He was going to retire, but McDaniels brought him out. So I think he probably made some promises.
Well, I think this was a move more of like, all right, is this going to justify what we see out of Aidan O'Connell? Like, Let's see Brian Hoyer first half. All right, we've seen what we had to see. We justified. Aidan O'Connell's the better player right now.
Yeah, he was sacked. He was sacked once, but it wasn't the O-line's fault. I think the O-line all night played well as far as pass protection, and he just, he held the ball a little bit too longer than he should, and obviously was sacked. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna. Hey, at the end of the day, he's definitely an obvious guy that's stocked down. But I feel like for some reason he's gonna make the team. I don't think he's gonna get cut.
I don't know, man. Who's gonna pick him up? Nobody's gonna pick him up, and the Raiders should know that. He's 38 years old. He already said he's not gonna play for any other. I think he knows his role. He knows what he was brought in here. I don't think he was brought in here to play football games. I think he's in here to be Aidan O'Connell's. Almost, he's that guy that he's not a coach, but he's a player's coach, and he's gonna help Aidan O'Connell's development, terminology, reading defenses. Just another set of eyes, he's going to be the player that can relate outside of a coaching staff, just someone who Aidan can respect. And I don't see it. I just don't. If they do, they might race the roster spot and say, you keep Brian Hoyer, but you release a guy like Malcolm Kuntz. I mean, that just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see.
So you think they're just going to cut ties with them? Cut them all the way, or are they going to bring?
Well, I do believe that. Don't they still have the veteran practice squad where you have more veterans?
Yeah, I think you're going to protect them.
I've got a beautiful home for Brian Hoyer. Just put him there.
So who's the next guy on the list, man? Who's stocked?
I'm actually going to talk about a positional group again. Might get a little bit of kickback because I do think that they improved this week, but they're not bringing exactly what I'm wanting to see, and that's the running back room. Zamir White played better. I think the more reps he got, obviously the running back position, the more reps you get, the better you do. Zamir White improved from week 1, but look, to be honest with you guys, this running back room isn't flashing in the emergence of a guy. If say Josh Jacobs doesn't report for week 1, which we can kind of get into that in a minute, but to me, there's not a guy that's emerged. And I know that they do the running back by committee, but to be honest with you, there's nobody here that defenses really need a game plan for. You know what I mean? If anything, I would be comfortable with if I'm a defensive assistant is loading up a box and getting after Jimmy Garoppolo, and making it disruptive. So we need a guy that can keep the defense honest. I think that's Josh Jacobs. And right now for me, Pharaoh, nobody has emerged for me out of that running back room. I liked Brandon Bolden's touchdown run. I thought he had good vision and good lateral movement. And kind of push the pile a little bit, but just not quite enough for me heading into week 1 to be very comfortable.
I just think Zamir he is what he is. He's a north and south runner. He might be a little bit stiff. I don't think you're going to see the wiggle that Josh Jacobs gives you from side to side, make a guy miss. He's not that type of running back. I thought he was pretty solid. I think he was all right. I mean, he had that catch. I wanted to see him in the receiving game. They kind of gave him like a little screen pass where he kind of got some yards after the catch, which is good to see. But I get you, man. You're not pretty excited. You pretty much you can't wait till Josh Jacobs come back. That's pretty much.
At this point with all the momentum that this team has generated this offseason and training camp and just the winning mindset that's kind of taken place on this team, I feel like Josh has kind of been a little bit contrary to that mindset as of late. But there's no denying that his abilities are above everybody in this running back room, and his abilities make this offense that much more dangerous. And I just think it's a needed asset to the Raiders offense.
Wait. Jack Kenna, man, he's in the building. Appreciate you coming through. He had to the nation only 11 likes. Hit them. Oh, man, God. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. Man. All you gotta do is just hit that like button, y'all. Just hit that like, man. We really appreciate it. It's really helpful. We want to keep coming back doing this. And all you guys got to do is just hit that like button, hit that notification bell so we can get notified anytime we drop content, go live. And obviously, this week I'm on my channel. And next week I'm going to be on Ray's channel. So you want to make sure you're subscribed to both channels. Man, we got to get more than 11 likes, man. Come on, y'all. Just
Roth gave us a quick update. We got 37 likes.
Oh, so okay. 37 likes. Oh, okay. That's a little bit better. But But yeah, man. Hey, let's get into it. Let's get back to it, man. Stock down. Meek Robinson. I thought he
He's on my
kind of
list as well. That's funny.
yeah he struggled a little bit. He did have the opportunity to get that pick six, to drop pick six, but I felt like he got picked on. And if you just look at the context, I understand like the corner, he's not the biggest corner. He's gonna leave some on the field. Like they're gonna, if he goes against a bigger wide receiver or anything like that. I just think that it's the second half of a preseason game and you're going against like backups, and then for them to just be picking on you, it just like
it's not a good look, especially with the depth of this room. Because I mean, you can make the argument David Long has missed some time and he came back, and I mean, you could say he played at the level or above the level of a Meek this week. So
yeah, I mean, I think he started the game. I don't think Jacorian Bennett didn't play.
I think he might be dealing with something, to be honest with you.
Oh, you think it's hurt? Hopefully he get. Oh man, hopefully he gets healthy soon. But yeah, man, Meek Robinson, I felt like he could have played a little bit better. I think this week he's on the list. Obviously, he could bounce back. He's a tough guy. He's a smart player, but I think this week he kind of struggled a little bit out there. But who's next up on your list, man? On stock down.
Stock down, I don't really have any much, but I do want to add a notable mention because I can't believe we forgot him. How about our intern from Nigeria, man, David Ugoa, getting his first NFL career sack in his second NFL game ever?
That's crazy.
Huge shout out to him. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let's give him a rated champ, man. Let's give him a rated champ.
Man. That's awesome.
But I'll throw another guy in, man, because the reason why I asked is because I have another guy left, man. And this goes back to ONT6 when he called in. He asked about that D-tackle room, and you mentioned it a little bit too. Matthew Butler.
Yeah.
The guy, he has not recorded a pressure in 30 pass rush snaps this preseason.
It's not going to get it done.
He has a 49.6 PFF run defense grade. In training camp, we're not hearing too much about him. I think the only time I heard about him when he won a little rep against a Rams player last week, which was pretty good, but at the end of the day, like, I'm not sure if he's going to make this roster. And if he makes it, it's going to be based off scholarship because he was drafted last year.
Yeah.
And he's cheap. He's a cheap player. Obviously, he's on a rookie contract. But if there's a better player, I think we need to go. Man, we can't just cut a player that's obviously better than Matthew Butler is putting out there. I think Neil Farrell Jr., he looks like he's taking a little bit of a step.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's a player, but I think Butler, he just hasn't, taken that next step yet.
Yeah, even if it's between him and Nesta Jade, I think Nesta Jade would still get the nod over Matthew Butler at this point.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, that pretty much wraps up our stock down list. Let's see who we got. We got let's get into the chat, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Port Adelaide Raider, man, appreciate you coming. He says people looking at it wrong in the running back committee. You don't need a superstar running back. Zamir drive 1. 3 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, drive 2, 1 catch, 9 yards, 1 yard run. G missed the block. Okay. 5 yards, 3 yards, 30. Okay. He's coming with the play-by-play, y'all. Hey, man.
And I hear you. Look, I hear you, but there's a huge difference. Look, when the Raiders offense, if it stalls out, if Jimmy Garoppolo's not having a good game, look, you want somebody that's going to put fear in the defense, and that's what Josh Jacobs does. I mean, he makes guys miss. He could take a 1 yard carry and break it off into a 30-yard gain. So I hear what you're saying, and I would agree with you. I think this system is obviously historically built on the running back by committee, getting it done with multiple runners. I get that, but none of them are Josh Jacobs. And there's going to be times in this offense, and there's going to be times in this there's going to be games this year where you're going to want Josh Jacobs back there when things need to get going and kind of accelerate an offensive drive. So,
yeah, you got to remember, this is just the preseason. Hey, it goes to a whole different level in the regular season. We're going to be playing some defenses that are going to be physical, and you're going to need a running back that's going to be able to make people miss. And that's what Josh Jacobs, the value of Josh Jacobs is he can make guys miss and make something out of nothing sometimes. And
that playoff push. Like when it gets down to that time and you're looking at 28 carries a game or that cold weather or whatever the case may be, like you need a running back like Josh. You want a running back like Josh Jacobs. So, yeah, I don't know, man. The whole situation with Josh has just been kind of weird for me. I wish things could be going about a different way. I understand he's going to get his money. He earns it. I've said it a million times. I'm not going to reiterate that.
We'll get into the Josh Jacobs in just a second.
Okay.
T Severe, he says, we have a QB coach. The message is not the same when you're hearing it from a coach and hearing it from a player that's played for years. Hey, T Severe always drop in.
And I think somebody said that 3 quarterbacks, so the third quarterback doesn't count against the roster. So if that's the case, then yeah, obviously Brian Hoyer is going to make the team. But
Daniel Kim says Adam Plant Jr. started out with some hype and then haven't heard about him post actual games. That's true. We haven't really heard too much about him. There was a little bit of hype. He undrafted free agent. Hey, sometimes players it takes a while for them to grow in. I think maybe he could be a practice squad. I'm not sure if he's going to make the team. Look, we mentioned earlier like that DN room is tough, man. It's packed. So I'm not sure if he'll make the team, but hey, he could be a practice squad candidate for sure, man. But yeah, look, we got Realist Raider. He says if I'm Ziegler, JJ shows up while the team is born for Denver. We'll be back in a few weeks for Denver. We talk about signing and tag then. Okay, look, let's get into it, man. Let's get that's a good segue, man. Well, let's get into in other news, man. Look, Josh Jacobs, beat writers are reporting that, pretty much that they believe that, it's not an actual official report. I think they're educated guess. In my eyes, I think they know. They're talking to people. They pretty much feel like Josh Jacobs is going to be back week 1. But yeah, man, it's not surprising at the end of the day, man. You got all these running backs signing. You got the guy from New York signing. You got Cook taking a deal that's under market. If you think about it, we know how talented Dalvin Cook is, and he signed a deal $7 million a year. So that's probably not going to help Josh.
Worth up to, I think, right? I think it was worth up to $7 million. So who knows?
That's even worse.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that's even worse. But you were saying earlier about Josh Jacobs. You were making a point.
Yeah, no, Josh. I want to see Josh get this situation figured out because the young man is a remarkable young man on and off the field, and what he's brought to the Raiders, I think obviously it's a very system fit for him, which is why historically you've seen these running backs in career years and contract seasons have statistical outbreaks, and Josh was another byproduct of that. So I'm not saying extend him to this huge deal, but get him back this year. I think you definitely need him this year so you can get a plan in place post Josh Jacobs.
Right.
And whatever that cost is this year, I guess get it done. But I would also like to see Josh Jacobs handle it a little bit different. He's a first-round draft pick. He's gotten paid a lot of money. The market value is what it is. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you just alluded to Dalvin Cook, another good running back in the NFL, taking less money. He's the third highest paid running back if he signs the franchise tag. Take that, play a good solid season, go cash in next year with somebody. But man, I wish it would be handled a little bit different. I wish he would get in the building and just kind of see the writing on the wall a little bit better. I think his agent has a lot to do with this as well. Maybe telling Josh some things that I don't think he's necessarily going to get, but that's just my opinion. And I just hope Josh Jacobs comes because this offense is desperately going to need him at some point. He's better than every running back on this roster, and it's not even close.
Yeah, man, that running back position, man, I don't know, man. They gotta the next time the players having a agreement with the owners, man, like they got to figure something out because it feels like they made a collective agreement of not paying the running back room because Josh Jacobs is 25 years old. He's the prime of his career. Man, he should be able to get a contract.
And not to cut you off, but in all points, what did Josh Jacobs ask in this offseason? Like, hey, put talent around me. And I would make the argument that the Raiders have gone out there and they've put some talent on this team. Now, I'm not saying that they're some crazy, top of the league type of team, but they've built a good sense of depth and they've obviously changed the mindset of this team this offseason. So this team feels like it fits Josh Jacobs in the mindset aspect. And I would just like to see him get plugged in and maybe buy into that a little bit more because let's be honest, when money gets involved like this, there's going to be a feeling out period between him, Dave Ziegler, and Josh McDaniels, where there's just, you know what I mean? He feels disrespected as a player. You're not just going to come in by week 1 and everything is all settled, right? So there's still going to be a little bit of, they may not portray that in the media, but I would imagine behind the scenes there's still going to be a little bit of drift there between coaching staff and Josh.
No, for sure. And then this week, in other news, running back Jonathan Taylor got permission from the Colts to seek a trade. I know you in Colts country out there, so that's pretty crazy. Great, as good as player as he is,
right?
The Colts are open to trading him, but NFL.com or one of the writers suggested that the Raiders would be a good fit. How do you feel about that?
Nah, I'm not buying it. I mean, we've got a premier running back as long as he signs, and look, and a part of me also, I don't know if you feel this way either, but because I play both sides because I get it, right? You go out there, earn as much money as you possibly can, but at the same time, it's like the writing is on the wall and it's actually really clear. Like everybody's telling you. But look, I mean, if Josh Jacobs doesn't want to be a part of the Raiders and what the Raiders has going on, then what do you think you can get for him? You know what I mean? I don't think you need that. The team is in such a good direction right now. Like, I don't want this to linger on and be something that leads into the locker room, which I don't think we have the leadership in place. I don't think that's going to be the case. But look, I mean, do you want to be a Raider at the end of the day?
Right.
And at what cost? And are you going to set the franchise back? I don't know. How do you kind of feel about that?
Man, it didn't make no sense. It didn't make no sense. Why would you trade another player that wants to get paid for another player that wants to get paid?
No, of course, yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. And then at the same time, you're gonna just mess up the chemistry in the locker room. Because obviously Josh Jacobs is respected, players like him, and then you're just gonna bring. It's not like Josh Jacobs is like an average nobody, and you're bringing in a superstar. It's like different. Like,
but how do you feel about the contract part? Do you feel like any of that can seep in? Do you like, obviously I believe you, I think you see both sides kind of similar, but if you don't want to be a Raider, do you think he should continue being a Raider?
No, I think he still wants to be a Raider. He just wants to be compensated fairly. I mean, he's one of the best players in the NFL. Like he's literally in the top 100 list. You got everybody talking about one of the top players at 25 and under. I understand he's a running back. That's the tough thing. He's playing that position where,
it's
they're not
devalued market.
Yeah, the market's not playing. It is what it is. But I think he's gonna come back.
But do you think a franchise tag is compensation though?
Hey man,
$10.1 million guaranteed, third highest paid in the league.
Yeah,
for really one big year of production. Let's be honest.
What's messed up is that someone put it in perspective. Like I don't know if it was like I forgot what receiver. It was a backup receiver is making like way more than Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs is a way better player than that receiver. He impacts the game way more. That's what I'm saying. Like I think they need to clean it up a little bit. I understand that running backs don't last,
but it's not now.
They got to figure it out. They got to figure
the running backs. They had
the audio went out. The audio went out. But yeah, man, I at the end of the day, I think Josh Jacobs he's gonna come back. He's gonna be ready week 1. It's just tough.
They had that, right? The running backs had that stint for like 2 weeks, and they stood firm, right? And they're like, oh, we're changing the market, and then everybody collapsed, right? Saquon signed, Dalvin Cook signed a deal worth up to $7 million. Everybody that was front runners in that race have now signed, and Josh Jacobs is standalone, and now he doesn't have any footing. Like all the leverage that they created, they've lost. So it's like, where's the point? Like, you're not gonna be that outlier that changes it. I don't think.
Yeah. Nah, it's tough. It's tough, especially because all the running backs literally gave in. So it's like literally he has no leverage. But going back to in other news, linebacker Vince Beagle was brought in for a visit. He does come with an injury history. Last couple years, he's had torn Achilles, which is a tough injury, back-to-back years. But his last productive year was in 2019. 59 total tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 13 QB hits, and 2.5 sacks, 18 pressures, 1 interception with the Dolphins in 15 games.
Yeah, pass.
Is he a pass? But my point is to bring that up because it actually happened like on Monday, I believe. Is they're looking at that linebacker room, and they definitely feel like they need to upgrade.
Yeah, well, I think you're going to be able to do that here in the next week or two, when roster cuts come. Like this guy, pass on that. Be patient, and you're going to be able to grab somebody who has value, probably a veteran linebacker that they'll probably bring in that they've got their eye on. So,
But hey, if they do bring him in, it's like low risk, high reward. He's going to get paid chump change, and then
he's just going to fly out to fly out. You know what I mean? So I probably wouldn't even board the plane if I was him. But look, I
just stay home.
Just stay home. Yeah, just stay home.
Just stay home, man. But hey, we've been asking everybody what are their thoughts of the preseason, what are their predictions for the season, and recently, Rich Gannon chimed in. Former quarterback for the Raiders, MVP of the league. He chimed in, and let's see what he had to say about the Raiders and how he feels moving forward with this team.
He can stay healthy. I am cautiously optimistic.
Could you hear it?
My Raiders.
Yeah, turn it up just a little bit.
Had a great
Hold on.
conversation with Jimmy Garoppolo on Saturday afternoon. I am cautiously optimistic about my Raiders in 2023, and here's why. I had a great sit-down conversation with Jimmy Garoppolo on Saturday afternoon. I just think there's a certain comfort level with Jimmy Garoppolo. He's got a history with Josh McDaniels from their time together. He is a different player than when he left New England. If he can stay healthy, he's going to have a special season. Devontae Adams is terrific. Michael Mayer, the young tight end, I think he's got a chance to be a special player. I think the key is, can they get Josh Jacobs back? If they can get him in here in the next week or so and get him up and running, I think the Raiders can be pretty special on offense. The biggest concern, obviously, with the Raiders is where are they going to be defensively? I think they've improved at all three levels of their defense. But here's the key for the Raiders defensively. Chandler Jones has to play better than he did a year ago. And Tyree Wilson, he looks like he's got a chance to be a pretty special player. If they can get some juice and productivity off the opposite edge from Max Crosby, I think the Raiders can get a whole lot better defensively. And a better Raider defense may mean twice as many wins as we saw a season ago. I am cautiously optimistic.
All right, so he's pretty much predicting that the Raiders, if they, with these improvements, couldn't win as many as 12 games.
Change of tone in Rich Gannon over recent years.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
And I don't think he was big on. I don't think he was a big car guy too.
Yeah, not a DC guy.
He was not a DC guy at all. So, but it's very interesting that he made some solid points. I mean, if the defense makes an improvement, obviously you got a quarterback in Jimmy G who's comfortable with Josh McDaniels, who I think can possibly have his best year if you look at all the weapons around him. But Josh Jacobs is a key ingredient. If he's there, the defense makes a jump. I mean, it's a tough schedule too. Like OG called in, he was like, "Hey, it's hard for me to make predictions with that tough schedule. Like, I think it's one of the hardest in the league." So, but what are your thoughts, man? Like, do you see the Raiders winning 12 games? He's saying twice as many, 12 games.
No pun intended, but 12 is a little bit rich. So 12 is a bit rich for me. Look, I like the offense. I like the offensive structure. I like Jimmy G as a quarterback. I love the change of energy. I love everything that I love where this team is right now. It's just different. And that's all I can say is I can't put a finger on it. I'm not going to say exactly what it was, but I got to give credit to the coaching staff, to Dave Ziegler for the draft. I think Jimmy Garoppolo has brought in a fresh voice and a fresh change on the offensive side of the football. But look, man, week 2 is what I've really got circled on the map. But it's just like, if we can go out there and beat Buffalo early in the season, I think it could really set a tone for us this season. So if we can go
past the Broncos,
who's worried about the Broncos?
Oh,
1-8 in the last however many years. I mean, come on.
Oh man, shots fired, man. Shots fired. Any Bronco fans in here, man? We're
1-0 as far as I'm concerned.
But Raider Bubbles, man, crazy name. I want Jacobs to be here like anyone else, but if he never wears a shield again, I'm not losing a second sleep over it. Man, hey, man, we gonna give you shots fired for that, man. He's keeping it. He's being honest. T Severe says this JJ situation is gonna end bad for him. Imagine if he gets hurt. The first thing they'll say is that it's because he wasn't working with the team and not in football shape.
He better hope he doesn't get hurt. Like with his actions and the way he's taking about it, he has to be healthy for 17 games if he wants to go out there and get a contract.
Port Adelaide Raider, maybe a second round pick or very last first, like pick 30 to 32. Are you saying for Josh Jacobs? I think he's talking about compensation for Josh Jacobs. Yeah, a Super Bowl contending team might be able to do the late for first round if they really needed a run game, because they know like in the playoffs you need that run game. In them tough games on the road, or just in the playoffs generally, you need to run the ball. So,
and man, if you guys have not yet, make sure you guys smash the like button. If AOC has earned the backup quarterback spot, go smash the like button. And if you haven't, subscribe to PharoahNFL, subscribe to Real Raider Ray. We alternate shows weekly. This week we're on Pharaoh's channel. Next week we'll be on my channel. So stay tuned. Not to cut you off, Pharaoh.
Oh yeah, no, hey, man, yeah, no, definitely hit that like button. Raider Pete says Jacobs is not on the trade table. He wants to be a Raider and will ball out. Eventually, Taylor is injury prone. JJ changed the pace of games, durable and leader. Yeah, we were never entertaining that. We did not even believe that was even a possibility. I don't understand. Sometimes as national media, they'll just throw out things just to get a reaction out of people. That was one of those like, come on, man, like
they talk too much. They run out of things to talk about.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, like we're not going to entertain that. We just brought it up just to laugh at it. To be honest with you, that's why we talked about it at the end. But Jack Kenna says Renfrow Myers making more. JJ's better than both. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the argument. Is like, man, he's such a great player, and it's not like he's a great player, but there's no impact. He impacts the game. That's
what scares me about this offense without JJ is that they load the box. They stop the run and they force Raiders into predictable throwing situations with Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think that's ideal. And I think Josh McDaniels knows that. Josh Jacobs is vital. As much as the situation is bad, he's so vital to everything that we want to see for the offense. So it's just such a tough situation.
Austin Avila, hey, man, appreciate you calling earlier. He says, rather give those reps to undrafted free agent or youth in the locker room. I don't know if you're talking to someone in the locker room or you're talking about that running back room. But I definitely would want Josh Jacobs instead of undrafted.
Yeah, 100%.
But Elite Med Staffing said, if you look at how we lost last year, there's no reason to say we can win 12 games. Lost 8 games by 1 score left.
I agree. I agree. We were in all those games. So you could, on paper, yeah, we could have did that last year. So yeah, it's not out of the window, but I'm not going to build the expectations to 12 wins. Can the Raiders do it? They could for sure go out there and do it, especially if this defense starts creating turnovers. Max, Chandler, Tyree, those guys start getting after it. Jimmy Garoppolo hits and is a success in the offense. Josh Jacobs is rumbling. Devontae's rumbling. Everything is there in place to go out there and win 12 games. We just have to go out there and do it. And I think let's just take this one game at a time this season, Raider Nation. Let's not set ourselves up like we did last season.
Yeah, I think you gotta. It's a wait and see for me. It's a wait and see for me.
Let's build this thing.
Yeah, because even with the defense, for example, like we're excited about what we're hearing from training camp. Then we seen what they did in Niners and after joint practices to see in the preseason game. It was fun, but then we seen the Rams, who didn't really have their starters out there, and they were going against our starters, but they're still moving the football a little bit. You know what I mean? They didn't score, I know, but it's just when I want us to dominate if we're going against backup players, and I didn't really see that. And I just feel like at the end of the day, like, hey, it's a wait and see for me. I gotta see them going against quarterbacks, guys that can pick you apart. And if we can pressure the quarterback, if we can get Tyree Wilson there, we can get Chandler Jones. I want to see the D-line get after it, because that's one of the things that's key for the Raiders to take that next step on the defensive side of football is, can we pressure the quarterback?
Interior push.
Exactly.
Interior is going to be big.
Even edge. Because if you think about it, yeah, we know Max Crosby's going to get it done, but that other side really didn't get it done last year. Maybe later Chandler Jones kind of improved as the year went on, but he needs help.
And let's be honest, the guys on the other side right now, that's a pretty beat up spot. Chandler Jones is hurt right now. Chandler Jones was injured last year. He's getting older. Tyree Wilson has a foot injury that he hasn't even played a preseason game. So
the good stuff says Carr averaged 4 points and 1 turnover in the second half of his 15 games played.
Oh my gosh. Well, that would explain a lot.
Oh man, that's funny, man. I'm gonna give you one of these, man. Hey,
hopefully
man.
we're on to better.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he's hey, you know what? I don't even wish the worst for him. You know, hopefully he does well over there with the Saints. But man, at the end of the day, the change was needed. At the end of the day, he's been here for 10 years, and hopefully we're on to bigger and better things this year. But Port Adelaide Reyes says, yes, conversation with JJ because the way things have gone between JJ and the Raiders, even if he signs a tag, he may get traded because of the team chemistry in the locker room. Do you think? I know you were talking about you talked about this earlier, and I heard you. I think players still respect him. I don't think there's any issues.
Yeah.
Maybe the coaching staff, maybe Josh McDaniels, maybe there might be a little bit of frustration there, but they respect Josh Jacobs. They seen what he did last year. They seen the type of he responded to the challenge of them not extending them, giving that 5th-year option. And he responded. He's one of the leaders. He plays hard every practice, every game. He's there. He's playing hurt. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. He's not that type of player. It's not an Antonio Brown type of situation.
No.
So, but yeah, man. Hey, man. We appreciate everybody coming through, man. This is a great show, man. We had calls. We talked about the game, players that we like moving forward, players that's kind of going the other direction, but hopefully they can get better. Hey, we talked about a lot today, man. Any last thoughts, man, for you, Ray?
No, I think today's show is remarkable. And if you guys missed it or you're coming in late, man, when we leave here, go watch the playback on your way to work tomorrow. Make sure you guys comment in the chat, but let us know about stock up, stock down players for you. And we're going to engage with you guys in the comment section. Like I said before, subscribe to PharoahNFL, subscribe to Real Raider Ray, more alternating shows. And we should be back on Thursday, so stay tuned for that. But no, man, I'm excited heading into Dallas Cowboys. Let's wrap up this final week of preseason before our eyes are set to Denver week 1.
Yeah, man, the season is literally here.
It's
man.
fast approaching.
Less than a month. Like what? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? 2-3 weeks?
Oh no, I think we got like 18 days till week 1, something like that.
Man, look at Ray. He said 18 days.
It's something like that. 18, 17, it's something like that.
Yeah, he's counting down already, man. But yeah, man, like he said, man, you make sure to hit that like button. It's very, man, we need that in order for us to keep coming back. It's very helpful in the algorithm for YouTube and social media, whatever. Just show support, man. Not just for us, every Raider content creator, but hey, you watching us, you enjoying the content, make sure to hit that like button. Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hey, right now you're on my channel. Next week I'm going to be on Ray's channel, and we keep switching off. So you want to make sure that you're subscribed to both channels and hit that notification bell. It's very important that you hit that notification bell because it notifies you when we're going live and we're dropping new content. So it's very important that you hit that. But yeah, man, hey, I'm excited. I appreciate everybody coming through, man. We appreciate the calls, man. We had some good calls today. But yeah, man, hey, man, let me should we do it the right way?
Yeah, let's just hit him with the right way.
Let's hit him with the right way. Okay, man, we'll hit him with the right way. Hold on 1 second.
Great Pharaoh. The gift of Troy is a fabulous fabric from the land of the 5 rivers.
Believe that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
Just win, baby.
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.